part of chapter 2. So, Redfield's folk-urban continuum. So, the concept of folk-urban continuum was developed by the American anthropologist Robert Redfield in mid-20th century to describe and analyze difference and transition between rural and urban societies. So, Redfield observed that societies exist on a spectrum ranging from folk or traditional or rural communities to urban or more modern city-based societies with distinct characteristics at each end and gradual changes in between. So there are three characteristics: folk societies or rural, urban societies or modern, and middle ground, the continuum. So folk societies is a small, cohesive, and close-knit communities with strong personal relationships. Also, it is a homogeneity in culture, belief, and occupations. They have also traditional in values, costumes, and strong focus on family and community. With limited division of labor roles, with people engaging in similar complementary tasks. So it's called local. So direct face-to-face interaction and strong communal bonds or oral traditions are prominent with limited reliance on formal instruction. So the next characteristic is urban societies, or modern. Large heterogeneous groups and diverse population with weaker personal ties. So with cultural diversity with mix of background, beliefs, and occupations. And also with secularization and modernization with focus on individualism and formal institution. With a specialized division of labor where people engage in a wide range of professions and personal interactions due to the large population, often with a higher reliance on institutions like universities and companies. Then lastly is the middle ground continuum. So Redfield proposed that communities often exhibit characteristics that fall somewhere between these two extremes. For instance, smaller cities or large village may have a mixed traditional values, but also some degree of occupational specialization or diversity in belief. So, example lang pa niya ng Philippines, na siya sa middle ground because through modernization apply sa advanced technology so rural society. So next topic is the structural functionalism. So it's a sociological and anthropological theory that views society as a complex system composed of various parts, and each with specific function that contributes to the overall stability and functions of the society. So this theory was developed primarily by sociologists such as Emil Durkheim, Paul Parsons, and Robert A. Merton, who sought to understand how societies maintain order or cohesive despite the complexity of social interaction. So there are also 5 key concepts of structural functionalism. So structure and function. The first is structure and function with opposite that every society structures or social institution norms and rules that serve function essential for society survival and stability. So these structures include institutions like family, education, religion, government, and economy, which completes specific roles and tasks. Second, social order and stability. So the theory emphasizes social equilibrium, suggesting that society's natural evolved mechanisms to maintain stability and resist sudden change. So structural functionalists believe that social institutions work together in a balanced way to promote stability, much like organ in the body contribute to an organism's health and survival. So, Russia opening organ size of a state or society. Third is functionality of social elements. Functionalists often categorize function as either manifest or talent. So, either manifest or intended and recognized, or latent or untended, often and needed. So, for example, schools have manifest function of educating young people, but also latent function of socializing them into cultural norms and values. So, they're also lacking. And fourth is social integration and solidarity. Emphasizing the importance of shared values and norms, structural functionalism suggests that collective consciousness binds people together, creating social cohesion and sense of belonging. And lastly, adaptation and evolution. So although structural functionalism is conservative, it is emphasized on stability. It acknowledges and societies adapt and evolve response to external and internal pressures. An example is the functional elements or parts of do not contribute but positively and may eventually modify or remove as society adjusts over time. So next topic is ideas of Talcott Parsons. So Talcott Parsons was an American sociologist who made significant contributions to the understanding of social systems and their functions, particularly through his theory of structural functionalism. So these ideas focus on societies maintaining stability and equilibrium by examining the roles of social structures and functions they perform within the society. So we have also 5 structures ideas of Talcott Parsons. So first is the structural functionalism with a basic concept and equilibrium. So basic concept is view society as a complex system made up of different parts of structures that work together to maintain stability and social order. So Parsons argued that each part of society has specific roles or functions that contribute to the overall function of the whole. Next is equilibrium. He believes societies went toward equilibrium, state balance where all parts are functioning effectively, keeping society stable. So for Parsons, social change disturbs equilibrium, but society has mechanism to restore stability. Second is the Agile framework. So Agile framework is explained the basic function required for any social system to survive and maintain equilibrium. So each letter in Agile stands for a function that is necessary. So A for adoption, G for goal attainment, I for integration, L for latency or pattern maintenance. So adoption is the ability of a society to adapt to its environment. Economics inclusion often fulfill this function by ensuring resources are available. Goal attainment is the capacity to set each collective goals. This is often by done political institutions and such as government. And next is integration, ensuring social cohesion and stability. This is the typical handled by laws, norms, and social institutions that regulate behavior. And lastly, latency or pattern maintenance. Transition of value, norms, and culture to sustain social system over time. So institutions like family, education, and religion are often perform these functions. The third is pattern variables. So Parsons introduced pattern variables as way to analyze the types of actions within systems. So he identified 5 dichotomous choices. So the affectivity versus affectivity inequality, universalism versus particularism. So that helps explain how individuals choose to act within their social roles. So these choices help to understand cultural expectations on how people behave in various context. The fourth one is social system theory. So, personal society as a collection of independent or social systems, such as family, economy, and religion. So, each performing functions essential for stability. So, we believe by performing these specific roles within the system, the individual contribute to the smooth functioning of the society. About reasoning with Parsons. And lastly, the criticism of Parsons' theory. So, if we have faced criticism for being to focus on stability and order, often overlooking issues of conflict, inequality, and social change. So, critics, especially conflict theorists, argue in this framework do not account well for power dynamics or social struggles. So next topic is about Robert Merton's views of functional analysis. So Robert Merton expanded on functionalist ideas of Talcott Parsons by introduced key modifications to make functional analysis more flexible and empirically useful. So nag-atag siya 5 views of functional analysis. So first is function and dysfunction. So Merton argued that not all aspects of societies are inherently beneficial, while Parsons focused on the functions that contribute on social stability. So Merton introduced the concept of dying functions, elements that may disturb or harm society. So this allowed more nuanced view, recognizing that some social structures or behaviors can be negative consequences. So the second is manifest and latent functions. So Merton disguised manifest latent functions, manifest and latent functions. So between functions and latent dysfunctions. So manifest functions and latent functions. So first is manifest. These are intended and these functions of social action on institutions. For example, manifest functions of education to impart knowledge. Next is latent, is intended. These are unintended or hidden consequences of an action or institution in a case of education. So a latent function could be a development of a social network or a perpetuation of a social inequality. So by focusing on both, Merton opened up a functional analysis to capture the complex and often affect the social structure. So, the explanation para kung sa views niya sa function analysis. Next is criticism of structural function analysis. So, some critics point out the theory of structural comprehension as a conservative perspective and seek to rationalize the existing practice, thus maintaining the status quo. So, in another limitation of the theory and its inability to explain and observe the sudden social change. So, it is felt since the society is equilibrium, there is no need to social change. Likewise, it is pointed out that since social behavior is guided by society autonomous and values, the theory leads to rather disturbing view on individual's behavior. So, dili ko siya mga dawat sa isa theory sa society. Next is economic theory. So, economic theories can be found in the works of Mydra and W. Rostow, and one this case, economists of today. So, Mydra views this situation in the South Asian region of social systems. So, he believes that economic progress is essential to component development of non-economic factors, so such as values, attitude, institutions, and policies are just important. So, naghatag po ng works of Gundar Myrdal and Rousseau will give the 5 progress of community. So the first is output in outcomes. What account you produce, how much each people earns for their efforts to play a central role in the study of development. So accordingly, low labor productivity leads to low income, low per capita. So Myrdal says increased income should be high productivity. So next is condition of production. So these are closely related to labor productivity. They directly affect the direction and intensity of economic activity. So Myrdal mentions that in an underdeveloped country, the industrial sector is small. So the techniques employed in agriculture and traditional industries are good, and capital investment is not significant. So just low savings per worker is even lower. So with low savings per worker, it follows that capital is kept down and abused, and the absence of capital will prevent the rise of the level of the productions and so on. So with low per worker, meaning with low capital as a society. So third is living and levels of living. So Myrdal defines level of living as an amount of quality of goods and service regularly consumed by the various persons. Accordingly, low levels of living is one of the components of underdeveloped, such as low labor productivity can result of varying factors of poor health, nutrition, and work attitudes. So, with a high population growth in general literacy. Fourth is institutions and attitudes. So, change in these conditions, they are necessary to increase labor efficiency and productivity. So, they are also promote effective competition, greater quality opportunities, thus permitting great social and economic mobility and promoting development. So, including the institutions, needing change is outmoded land-tenure system, social and economic monopolies, education and religious structures, and system of administration and planning. So, lastly is rationality. So, the substitution of modern methods of acting, producing, distributing, and consuming for old-age national practices is essential for development. So rationality implies that economic policies are should be relevant and rooted deeply as possible in knowledge of relevant facts. So there should be a research according to the policy that ensure that bringing out economic growth and development. So next topic is about what Rostow stage economic growth. So this is the last topic now. Rostow considered his work the stage of economic growth non-communist manifesto in Cambridge University Press 1967. So an economic historian by generalizing the sweep of modern history in a form of such generalization assess the stage of growth. So he finds it possible and for certain limited purposes useful to break down the history of regions into stages. So first is the traditional societies. In its one structure is developed limited production of function-based and pre-nutrient science and technology, and pre-nutrient attitudes towards the physical world. So such as society are characterized by limited level of productivity. So preoccupation with agriculture, such as a social structure with a slow mobility and a value system that evolves on fatalism. So ang example na is China with a limited productivity and preoccupation with agriculture with no mobility and value system that evolves on fatalism. So next is the preconditions of takeoff. So this is the transitional era when society prepares itself by external forces for sustained growth. So initially, society of predominantly agricultural social life is built around relatively small self-sufficient region. So birth rates are high as a response to hard life. So in economic relativity, above minimum levels of consumption but concentrated in the hands of the landowners. Third is the takeoff. This pertains to the vast internal history of the society of the growth becomes the normal conditions. So it characterized by these interrelated conditions, rise of great productivity investment, producers of one or more substantial manufacturing sectors with a high rate of growth. So the existence of a quick emergency political, social, and structural framework which exploits. So fourth is the drive of maturity. So this is the period when society has effectively applied a range of modern technology to both its resources. So it is where leading sectors take over stage are being supplemented by new ones, and therefore industrial process becomes integrated. So the last is the age of high mass consumption. So this represents the period when men begin to make for granted to what they are born, in this case by advanced industrial society. So that's all.
Saya yung storage nito, i-delete na sa